churches have a connection with the afterlife and a hint of what may become of us when we shuffle off this mortal coil. But few places of worship make the link between religion and death quite so apparent as the Cemetery Church of All Saints in SEDIC, which is a suburb of KUTNA, HORA, right in the centre of the Czech Republic. The chapel, also known as the Kostníka Ossiory Beinhaus, is decorated with the bones of an estimated 40,000 human skeletons. The bones have been arranged in all sorts of forms and furnishings. The vaults are framed by great garlands of human skulls. There is a chandelier that is said to contain at least one example of every single bone in the human body. There are coats of arms, literally. How did this come about? It may look as if it's the legacy of some bloodthirsty medieval count, a memento left behind by Vlad the Impaler or his ilk. But the truth is a simple case of overcrowding. After a 13th century abbot returned from the Holy Land with soil from Golgotha, which he sprinkled over the cemetery, the site became the most desirable graveyard around. Many skeletons were exhumed to make room, and the resulting pile of bones was eventually put to ornamental use by the monks. Today, SEDIC has turned its most infamous place into a tourist destination. It even has a gift shop, so that those of a macabre bent can bone up on a little history themselves. (875) South Bundy Drive, Brentwood, Los Angeles. This was the home where on the 12th of June 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson was found murdered, along with her friend Ronald Goldman. Goldman was on a visit to return Nicole's mother's sunglasses, which had been left in the restaurant where he worked. Nicole's ex-husband, football legend, sports commentator and sometime movie star RONALD James Simpson, known to the world as OJ, was arrested and tried for the two murders. But not before a slow-speed police chase of Simpson on Interstate 405, following his failure to turn himself in, and the release of a letter he wrote to the media denying involvement in the crimes but suggesting he was considering suicide. 4 days after the chase, Simpson appeared in court for his arraignment and pleaded not guilty to the two murders. The following trial lasted for 9 months and attracted so much global publicity that it was dubbed the trial of the century. The court case made many of the people involved in it familiar figures. The judge, Lance Ito, found himself the subject of television comedy parodies. Prosecutor Marcia Clark and leading member of the defense team, Johnny Cochran, also found themselves in the spotlight. Although there was a great deal of DNA evidence against Simpson, in the end it seemed as if the prosecution's case rested on its ill-advised choice of having Simpson try on one of the blood-soaked gloves implicated in the murders. Perhaps it had shrunk due to the blood or following a freezing and thawing process. Perhaps it is true that Simpson had stopped taking arthritis medication, resulting in a swelling of his joints. Or maybe he simply wasn't guilty. Whatever the reason, the glove clearly did not fit, and the jury took only 3 hours of deliberation before acquitting him on both charges. Amidst talk of a racially charged issue, mishandling by the prosecution, and a stunned reaction from relatives of the murder victims, Simpson walked away a free man.
As to count one, is this your verdict?
Any reaction? No comments.
However, in February 1997, the case took an even more bizarre turn when a civil jury in Santa Monica found Simpson guilty of the wrongful death of Goldman, as well as battery against both Goldman and Nicole Simpson. And the file is still not closed. A body of evidence now suggests Simpson's son Jason from his first marriage was the real murderer. He was 24 at the time of the murders and had a history of rage-filled psychotic episodes. And controversy flared again when Simpson attempted to publish a book called If I Did It in 2006, another twist in the long and tawdry drama surrounding the murders at South Bundy Drive.
Three, two, one.